I'm going to give you ideas to do things differently. The goal as a parent is to feel like you are settled and regulated and confident and empowered as a parent versus frazzled, stressed, annoyed, irritated, frustrated, feeling of powerless, right? So what is effective at helping you not only feel how you want to feel as a parent, but also to get your kids to cooperate the way that you want them to?
Welcome to the Fresh Start Family Show. I'm your host, Wendy Snyder, powerful parenting educator and family life coach. And together we are going on a journey to help you expand your heart, learn new tools, and strengthen your family so you can build the family legacy of your dreams. I'm a mama too turned child and family advocate who went from being extremely stressed out back when my strong-willed little girl was a toddler to now thriving as a parent and having the honor to support thousands of families each year who choose to go from frazzled and impatient to peaceful and empowered. Each week, we will dive in with experts, thought leaders, authors, and advocates with insights to help you thrive in your parenting walk, as well as in your marriage and even in your career and faith walk too. Together, sometimes alone, sometimes with my better half and co-host Terry, we'll explore the triumphs and trials we all face as parents and share practical tools to fill our hearts, minds, and souls with inspiration. Take a deep breath and get ready to be poured into with some fresh start inspiration. Let's do this.
Hello, families, and welcome back to a new episode. I'm so happy you're here. Today, we are going to be talking about some say this, not that tips to give you some creative ideas to redirect yourself during this busy holiday season that we are just embarking upon. It is a time of year where many of us, we look forward to this time of year, right? It's a fun time of year. We've got Thanksgiving here in the US, and then we move into Christmas and Hanukkah and New Year's, and there's just often a lot going on. And a few episodes ago, I recorded a podcast episode for you all around why you feel so rattled when your kids misbehave, often because you are in a state of dysregulated nervous system. And so if you haven't listened to that episode yet, please make sure that you do, because it's really important information to head into the holidays with so you understand what's actually going on, that you're not just failing and the worst parent on the planet because you react like a volcano. It's just because your nervous system is dysregulated. But a lot of times I know that when we get into larger social settings, so to speak, social settings in any regards, we often will get more triggered by our kids' misbehavior because there is more triggering of the feeling of scared, often of being judged or failing as a parent. I just wrapped a weekly coaching session with my Fresh Start Experience members, and we were talking about how common the feeling of scared is that many of us are just not aware of. We skip right over that feeling so fast because we were never taught how to feel scared in a healthy way. We were never taught that it is actually a strong emotion, that bravery and courage is on the other side of feeling scared, and that feeling scared doesn't make you weak, it actually makes you strong. And the only way to be brave and courageous in life is to feel scared first. So many of us just will do anything not to feel scared because growing up, it was like, don't be a wuss. Don't be scared. Don't be silly. It's not like there's nothing to be scared of. Look, I already checked under the bed. There's no monsters, right? Or like whatever it was. There was a lot of don't be silly. There's nothing to be scared of. Or here's a cookie. Just stop crying. You don't need to be scared. So we're just learning how to do that as adults. And again, a lot of times we will feel so scared of judgment. So this is why it feels like a higher degree of difficulty to respond with firm kindness and compassion in the grocery store aisle than it does when you're like home alone with your kids and it's winter, so all the windows are closed, right? Or this is why it feels like a higher degree of difficulty to respond versus react when you're at a Thanksgiving dinner and Aunt Sally is there, who you know is entrenched in unhealthy religious circles or just is so outspoken about how she doesn't think that you're parenting the right way, or sometimes it's your mother-in-law, or sometimes it's a cousin or a sister-in-law or something. But we can just get into that state of feeling really scared of judgment, that if our kid is not behaving perfectly, that means something's wrong with us. And therefore, you go into protection mode, which is often that kind of dysregulated nervous system reactive state. Okay, so today I'm just going to give you some tips that when you start to hear yourself say something, so it could be internally, or it could be like, oh, that just came out of my mouth, or I'm tempted to say that to my kids, you can just remember that these are some things that some thoughts, some verbiage tweaks that you can engage with to experiment with doing it different. Okay. I always want you guys to think of this as not right versus wrong, worse, better. I want you to think of this as I'm going to give you ideas to do things differently. The goal as a parent is to feel like you are settled and regulated and confident and empowered as a parent versus frazzled, stressed, annoyed, irritated, frustrated, feeling of powerless, right? Like, so what is effective at helping you not only feel how you want to feel as a parent, but also to get your kids to cooperate the way that you want them to? Okay, so the first tip is you may be tempted to say to your kids, cut it out, you're driving me nuts. Has anybody ever said this? You're driving me crazy. You're driving me crazy. Okay, instead, I want you to just start practicing what it might be like to say, after a pause button, if you're in any of our programs here at Fresh Start Family, you know what a pause button is just to remind yourself, my nervous system is needing some love right now. It is dysregulated. I feel like I could kill a kid because they're bugging me so hard, or they're not like listening. They're jumping off the couch. I've already told them not to. Like, you're driving me nuts. We teach a lot around, especially the tone of irritation and annoyance in our Freedom to Be program, which we, by the way, just solidified our dates for. We're going to be in person in San Diego, March 21st through 23rd, 2025. It is our favorite deeper healing and personal development program that we do every single year. We do one online, one in person. But our in-person one is in beautiful, sunny San Diego, right on the ocean at one of my favorite resorts called Cape Ray in Carlsbad, California. And we're going to be doing that. So if you want to get on the wait list or look into getting tickets for that, you can go to freshstartfamilyonline.com/freedom course. But we do a lot of tone redirection in that program, and we guide students to become empowered to be aware of their tone. And when we have an irritated or annoyed tone, it often will come out as you're driving me crazy. When really what's happening is from the story we are telling ourselves, which comes down to module 1 of our foundations course, where we teach you to have a healthy, accurate paradigm about your children's misbehavior. But oftentimes we will knee jerk into an old school paradigm. A misbehaving child equals a bad child equals a bad parent. And then all of a sudden we have a story that's driving us crazy. So we say to our kids, you're driving us crazy, but what's actually happening is we are driving ourselves crazy. So instead, just remind yourself, it's not them driving me crazy, it's me driving myself crazy, and I have the power to walk away for a minute and take care of my nervous system, or tag in my spouse if, the jumping off the couch is like bothering, has me triggered, whatever it may be. Give yourself 2 seconds, 2 minutes if you can, to go into the bathroom, go to the bathroom, wash your hands, take some deep breaths, and just remind yourself, nervous system, you are safe. Again, if you didn't listen to the episode I did for you guys 2 weeks ago, please make sure you do that, because that nervous system education is really important. Okay, second tip, instead of saying, I can't handle this, right? It takes one to know one, by the way. So all of these are thoughts in my own head from the past 14 years. And I can't handle this as often comes along with like, I'm done, which I'll get to in a minute. But I can't handle this is something we will often say to ourselves, or we'll say it out loud in frustration. And we are giving ourselves the message that we're incapable, when really we often just need a little space. Our brain is so smart to be able to remember the things that we've learned in a program like Fresh Start Family Education Resources, the Foundations course, the Fresh Start Experience, the Firm and Kind Parenting Blueprint, or through a podcast, right? Or a book that you recently read. Our mind is brilliant to have retained that information, and it's does not thrive in this like super rushed environment all the time. And what I'm realizing is every year that goes by in this world, we are becoming a more busier and busier world. And it's leading so many of us to feel overwhelmed all the time. And so that's where the feeling of incapability comes from, because everything feels like a four-alarm fire. It's actually not 99% of the time. Yes, there are four-alarm fires. When your child is running into a street, please yell. Please yell. When they're about to touch a hot stove, please grab them quickly or yell, danger, you will get burned, right? And most of the time, it's not a four-alarm fire. And you can handle it if you just give yourself time to walk away to resource calm. So something you can say to yourself is, it is safe to walk away for 2 minutes to resource calm. We've been learning so much in our Fresh Start Experience program about nervous system regulation techniques and tools, and accessing nature and resourcing nature is a great way to do that fast. So if you can step out into the backyard and look at the clouds, listen for a bird, look at the trees, touch a tree trunk, put your hands in your garden. Like, nature is one of the best ways to quickly kind of de-escalate your nervous system. But walking away and just giving yourself a moment to think about how you want to handle it and do a pause button, right? Which again, we teach in module 2 of the Foundations course, is essential. Just try that out. Okay, next thing that you might be tempted to say, and I want you to try this, not that, is do it or else you'll get your iPad taken away. And you could enter in whatever your favorite threat is here, but just remember that kids who are consistently led through external controls and fear will never learn self-control. So the sooner you can learn to take a break from threats and instead move into empowerment prompting strategies to influence your kid through connection and firm kindness, you are going to be a happier camper in the second decade of your child's life. Trust me. My kids are now 14 and 17, and it is the coolest little petri dish experiment to see my kids who have been raised with this powerful parenting work that from the get-go, right? Taryn was raised with this from the time he was born. Stella got it from the time she was 3 up. So we did the total switcheroo with her. But it is, all these methods are based to teach are designed to teach intrinsic control. So we are trying to help our children feel motivation from the inside out, do the right thing when we're not looking, have self-control, be able to monitor themselves, do things because they feel inspired by people and truly respect authoritative figures rather than feel scared that they're going to get hurt or harmed by them. But to see the difference in the way that my kiddos are operating in the world with their friendship groups, whether they're able to stand on their own 2 feet when it comes to peer pressure or not, like all these interesting things that happen for teenagers, it's just night and day from 80% of their friends that are being still right now raised in the traditional external control tactics: fear, force, threats, punishment, very disconnected relationships, often brushing stuff under a rug, never truly having or making amends, repairing relationships, teaching important life lessons. Parents just are thinking that if you just punish, then the kid won't repeat the mistake. Or if you just threaten, then they'll do what you want, right? And so that only works for a certain amount of time. And even when kids are little, I would argue that the strongest-willed kids, it just creates so much havoc and chaos that it's not worth it. And it's just not in line with the students that I support here at Fresh Start Family. That's why it feels like it's such cognitive dissonance and unalignment that It just feels very yuck. So I know you're starting to think about what you're going to get your kiddos for holiday gifts already. So I wanted to chat with you about one of my favorite toys for young kids, the Tony Box, which is just the coolest imagination building screen-free audio system that uses figures to play stories, songs, and more. Discover imagination and active play for kids. It's everything a young explorer's growing mind needs. Designed for little listeners ages 3 plus, the Tony Box is a learning device that helps children with speech, language, and development, and starts them on a path towards literacy. It's designed for young children to operate independently and through tactile play rather than staring at a screen. I mean, hallelujah to that. Tony boxes are soft enough to snuggle, tough enough to handle hands-on kids, great for on the go with 7 hours of battery life, and very simple to set up. Plus, they include headphones for quiet mode. So I want you to head to tonys.com, or we also have a page dedicated to Tonys because we love them so much, freshstartfamilyonline.com/Tonys to learn more. And be sure you're following me on Instagram. I'm at Fresh Start Wendy, where together with Tonys, we'll be giving away 2 Tony starter kits during the month of November. Just be sure to look for the post labeled Tonys giveaway. The holidays are coming, and the truth is, we all want to have a holiday season filled with joy, connection, and great memories. But the reality is, that's tough to make happen when you feel depleted as a parent and unconfident when it comes to redirecting misbehavior and handling challenging situations with grace and dignity. The Foundations course, which is our signature positive parenting program, solves that problem and empowers you with step-by-step guidance on how to build a firm and kind toolkit in your home. And the best news is that it is on sale for a limited time to celebrate Small Business Saturday, my favorite shopping day of the year here in America, where we take a break from purchasing from big corporations and instead invest in quality products, programs, and companies like Fresh Start Family, who have a mission we believe in. Our Foundations course normally sells for $497 on our website, but for this special sale and this weekend only, we are discounting it 80%. Yes, you heard me right. Head to freshstartfamilyonline.com/foundations and use the code small business. And for just $97, you can snag the Foundations course as an investment in your family legacy and as a gift to yourself, because we all know you've had this course on your wish list for quite some time now, haven't you? Binge this course over the holiday break, and by the new year, you'll be feeling way more calmer, much more empowered as a parent, and full of hope about 2025 being the year where peace, connection, and joy reign in your home. Head to freshstartfamilyonline.com/foundations now through Sunday, December 1st, and use code SMALLBUSINESS at checkout. Happy Thanksgiving month, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting Fresh Start Family. We are a family-run small business with a tiny but mighty team who care deeply about the families we serve around the world. Thanks for celebrating Small Business Saturday with us, and congrats on scoring such a great deal. Right? So instead of saying, do it or else you'll get blank taken away, usually for parents these days, it's technology, you can say, deep breath. All right, kiddo, I am feeling powerless right now, and I need your help. We are capable of working as a team here. And I can see that you don't want to put it down, and we still need to plug it in and put it down in order to be on time for church. How are we going to work this out? How are we going to do it as a team? But the main takeaway is just the main replacement for you guys is, I'm feeling powerless right now, and I need your help. We are capable of working as a team. Then you move into empowerment prompting strategies. We teach you inside of our Fresh Start experience all these strategies. The best way to start to get engaged and entrenched in our work is to hop into our free Quick Start Learning Bundle that you can learn more and get registered at freshstartfamilyonline.com/power struggles, or just DM me the word freedom on Instagram. But in the beginning, just admitting, hey, I feel powerless right now. And I know we gotta go. So how are we gonna work this out as a team? I need your help. It to so many parents, it feels so foreign. It seems like these kids would just laugh at you and be like, ha ha ha, now I'm going to play the iPad for a million more hours. But it actually is very attractive and energetically like magnetic to strong-willed kids because they love to feel powerful and they also respect humans who don't live in hypocrisy land. So they respect an adult who actually is willing to share power with them and kind of recruit them to be on their team versus force them into submission. So just try it. Again, this is an episode to get you just curious about some different options versus threats. The next thing you might be tempted to say that I want you to try this, not that, is you might be tempted to say, why am I such a failure? Ugh, right? I just was coaching a student this morning around her knee-jerk patterns of beating herself up. And I know as an educator, that the better we are at beating ourselves up when we're imperfect, the better we are at beating our kids up when they are imperfect. And so you just want to start with yourself as much as possible and remind yourself, you are human. So when you catch yourself saying, why am I such a failure? Instead, try something like this. Look, okay, you didn't get it right there. But mistakes are opportunities to learn, and no one is perfect. My kids are resilient, and so am I. The easiest takeaway, in case you're not taking notes right now, if you're driving or jogging or pushing the stroller, mistakes are opportunities to learn. And failure, quite honestly, is just unfinished success. So, when I was coaching that student this morning, I was encouraging her to bring in comedy because I've been doing this now for 14 years and it probably was like, I don't know, year 10 that I started to be able to bring in comedy when these shame thoughts would like crash down on me. And now I can just kind of laugh them off. If I say to myself, oh, I'm such an idiot, or like I would often say like I'm such a ding dong. I don't know, it must have been a term my family used growing up. And now I just kind of laugh at it and I'm like, oh, no, you aren't. You're just human. Mistakes are just opportunities to learn. What are you gonna do to clean up the mistake? How are you going to do it differently tomorrow? Again, we know that when you give yourself self-compassion, you're way more likely to change your behavior. So if you've yelled, grabbed your wrist too tight, threatened again when you swore you weren't going to threaten and it's like only 7:30 a.m., just remember when you are tempted to say, why am I such a failure to yourself? Try to say something like mistakes are just opportunities to learn instead. Okay, last one I have for you in this episode all around what you can say this, not that ideas is when you are tempted to say, that's it, I'm done. I've tried everything and nothing is working. I actually have the funniest story of we were at breakfast one morning and one of my biggest triggers with my kids has always been sibling conflict, right? How many of you out there are just like, oh my gosh, my kids and the fighting drives me insane. But this was like well into my fluency around this work. It was probably just like, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago. I think it was during COVID. So yeah, 4 years ago. And they started bickering and fighting. And I was triggered into, that's it, I'm done. I'm walking home. And we were like 2 miles away from home at the beach at Panic and Coffee here in North County, San Diego. And it was like, no, I'm not. I'm not walking home. And I'm also not done teaching them how to have peaceful conflict resolution as kids. Like, I'm never going to give up on them. And it was just a moment where I was triggered and I said something that was now, we very actually quickly saw it as very comical. And by that point, I was so fluent in not dipping into shame that I was able to laugh at myself pretty quickly. But a lot of a lot of parents are still operating out of this frustrated tone of that's it, I'm done. And then comes in the punishment, right? Like, that's it, you're going straight to bed. That's it, no iPad for the rest of the week. So it's a little bit of a combination, but it usually will begin with that's it, I'm done. And then the thought is, I've tried everything and nothing is working. So now I'm going to come in with the hammer and you're going to freaking pay the price. And then tomorrow, everything will be better, right? Like, you'll finally learn if the hammer gets thrown hard enough. And guess what? It doesn't work. The relationship gets teared. the behavior continues, and the frustration builds in the parent, right? And then the blame and the shame comes in. And so instead, I just want you to say to yourself, okay, I am tempted to be like, that's it, I'm done. Instead, I'm going to say, I will never give up on my kids. And slowing down signals safety to my brain and fuels creative solutions. So it is that time of year when germs and colds are rampant. Go to the bathroom, wash your hands, put some warm water, and just take 2 minutes to remind yourself as you're washing your hands. If you can bring some aromatherapy into it, that's always a great idea. And just remind yourself, I'm never going to give up on my kids. It's safe to slow down. What are some creative solutions here? What can I call on as far as my strategies? I am safe. We can do this. We are a team. Okay. So that's it. I'm done is definitely a bit of a frustrated tone. Again, we teach this at Freedom to Be quite extensively, but a frustrated tone just signals to us that we're giving up on something that we think we're never going to get. And this is an opportunity to get in touch with what are you giving up on in that moment? What do you actually want? And for me, when I threatened to walk home, I was giving up on my kids ever having a great relationship and getting along. And that's just not who I am. I'm never going to give up on that. I don't have a great relationship with my older brother, who's 5 years older than me, and it is such an important value of mine for me to continue to teach my children how to respect each other and have peaceful conflict resolution when they are on different pages or disagree with something. So I will never give up on that. So just remind yourself of that. You're never going to give up. Slow down. It's safe. Families, I hope this has blessed you today. These tips that I give you, let's see, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tips today. Say this, not that. I'm calling it the holiday edition because we are getting ready to go into a very busy, bustling, often overwhelming holiday season. And I just want you to be kind to yourself. Take care of your nervous system and remember that the way you speak to yourself matters, and the way you speak to yourself often will get mimicked in the way you speak to your children. So it starts with yourself. Take good care of yourself this holiday season. Thank you so much for listening or watching. If you're enjoying this now, we are now on YouTube. And remember, you can download our free Quick Start Learning Bundle, 3 Secrets to Thriving with Strong-Willed Kids, and how to raise strong-willed kids or kids in power surge stages of life, those kids that say no very, very often and are really great at pushing back on the rules. But how do we raise them with integrity and a settled nervous system? That's what I'm going to teach you inside of the free Quick Start Learning Bundle. And you can download it at freshstartfamilyonline.com/power struggles, or just DM me the word freedom over on Instagram. I'm at Fresh Start Wendy. And if you're watching on YouTube, of course, just click below. All the links will be there. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Hooray! You made it to the end of a Fresh Start Family Show episode. Thank you so much for being here. If you have a quick second, make sure you hit subscribe to our show so you can be updated when our new episodes drop. I will see you back soon for the next episode.
All right, don't forget, now through December 1st, use the code SMALLBUSINESS at checkout to get 80% off our Foundations course, our signature 4-module online positive parenting program where you can learn firm and kind parenting strategies and techniques that'll literally change your life from the comfort of your own home. You can head to freshstartfamilyonline.com/foundations to learn more. And don't forget, use the code SMALLBUSINESS at checkout now through December 1st to get 80% off. That means you can snag this incredible program for just $97. Enjoy.